What's up, everybody? It's Story here. Welcome back to another cast of the Red Witch King Patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 1v1 on the Forts of Isen II between the players Solas as Mordor and his opponent Liam 666 as Goblins. So yeah, we have Goblins versus Mordor. Arguably the best player of Rise of the Witch King at the moment versus Liam. Which I can't say how good Liam is particularly, but yeah. So hopefully it's a good match. I noticed there was like 8 replays versus Liam from Solas on the replay site. I was like, okay, I'll just cast the longest one. That's what I did. So here we are. Also, fun fact: as of recording this, is my 30th birthday. I'm officially old. It sucks, but there you go. So, yeah. Anyway, we have our first player, Mordor, Solas here, going for an orc pit. And we have a goblin cave going down for Liam, who's also going for his triangle of farms there, as is Solas there. As common, as is tradition of their people. You go for the circle around your fort, semi-close to the fortress, so they make the proper amount of money. As you see, all his are actually making 25. He's done it perfectly. Ideally, that is like the ideal spot for your farms. And now it looks like Soul's throwing 2 more orc pits. He's also spying on Liam's start, it looks like, so he knows exactly what's coming. Liam, of course, is sending in goblin warriors with 2 caves there. Also sending a forward tunnel to the far left. So that's the thing. Solas' first battalion of orcs is on the way, and they'll be crossing the river here shortly. He's going for orc warriors, orc archers, and more orc warriors. So it's probably going to be a spam versus spam game. We'll see whose spam is stronger. If I had to bet my money, honestly, I'd bet my money on Solas, but apparently Liam beat him before, so who knows? I have no idea. At least I got that out of a comment, at least. We have another goblin cave going down for Liam. Also getting some goblin archers, rather. Means some more goblin warriors. Solas is sending some troops from the south. He's also sending some troops from the north into Liam's base. Liam is now sending some goblin warriors across the western ford. They are war chanted and poison blade active. But Solas does have an army ready to engage them. Is he going to creep with it? Apparently so. Looks like Liam's going to creep the war glare there with some goblin warriors with war chant. Not a bad call, as they seem more than capable. It looks like Liam's defending quite nicely here in his base as well, with the goblin warriors and archers. I think a little bit of damage might be done to Solas' base, but not a whole lot. He might nick this farm a little bit, but that's about it, really, I think. As long as the archers get into place, he shouldn't have a problem. Although Solas' archers currently not in position, really. The orc warriors will eventually beat these down, especially now that the war chant is off. So it won't be too big of a deal for Solas, I think. Liam continuing to creep here. Getting that extra gold and extra power points, which is very useful. Trying to get himself ahead of the game. Definitely a wise decision. Looks like a Haradrim Palace has been thrown down by Solas, upgrading to level 2, so he's definitely, well, more than likely going to go for Haradrim Lancers to deal with these Goblin Warrior battalions that are stragglers. Solas, though, or not Solas, Liam answering with Spider Pits, which is definitely a good, proper counter to that. So that'll definitely help immensely. If you get some Flarelings out, they'll help counter the Cav. If Solas decides to send Cav out, he could be upgrading even further to Haradrim Archers. It is a possibility. But if I had to guess, maybe not. I guess we'll see. Because I don't actually know. I don't know who wins this game either, by the way. Just so you know. I know very little from the replay description. Just put it that way. There is Spiderling out in the field. Also pretty decent against Orc Warriors as well, because they are, of course, good against swordsmen and cav. So they're very useful in both situations. There we go. We do indeed have a Haradrim Lancer battalion out for Solas. And they should do pretty good damage to the not giant groups of Goblin Warriors. As long as Solas keeps his cav next to his archers, he might be okay. Looks like he's going to full-on engage them and try and burst down the lings. But look how many Haradrim Lancers are following to one battalion of Spiderlings, even while surrounded. The Haradrim Lancer is not particularly tanky, as it is known. There's only 4 of them left, and now they are very heavily wounded, and they are not level 2. So Solas will either have to get the banner carriers from level 2, or go level them up somehow. Just strength farm or something, of course. It's an option. So what's going on in Liam's base? Liam's tunnel is currently under attack. Under the gaze of Sauron's eye. Looks like a fissure being thrown down by Liam. Could be going for half-troll marauders to help counter the Haradrim Lancers. Could be going for half-troll swordsmen to help overpower the orc warriors. I guess only time will tell. Half-troll swordsmen, not a bad choice. Both fronts, in fact, because they're not able to be trampled either, like the half-troll pikemen are. Marauders, rather. So they do okay against cav. There are, of course, no counter to cav. But just the fact they can't be trampled makes them quite effective. Alright, so it's got a couple of battalions of orcs. Those are warriors. There's the war chants. Solas doesn't have much cav to speak of, does he? He's really got to use them to the best of their ability. Looks like they will just be thrown to the slaughter, though. Not much you can do with that. And Liam sending his Spiderlings after the orc archers there. These buff Spiderlings are actually tanking the arrows from the orc archers pretty nicely. They're picking off a lot of orc archers as they go. Honestly, at the current moment, I would say Liam has the upper hand at the moment. He's pushing Solas back into his base. He has map control on the south. Solas doesn't have map control in the north, so obviously Liam has a bit more map control in general. He has 650 command point limit as opposed to 525 for Solas. And he also has summoned wildmen somewhere. There they are. So Solas has 2 5s and 3 power points. Liam has a 10 and a 5 and 3 power points. So he's ahead on power points as well. So he's definitely doing pretty well, I'd say. We got a drummer troll out for Solas, though. That could make a difference. Drummer trolls in general pretty good against goblins. Goblin warriors can't really deal with them. Goblin spiderlings, not terribly effective against them either. After marauders, on the other hand, will do pretty good damage to them. So Solas has to be a bit careful about that. As you see there, the lings get knocked back, and the one that gets hit particularly gets decently damaged. Now Solas is starting to build quite the force here. Doesn't seem like Liam is... he is indeed building troops. Okay, good. I was going to say, if he's not building guys. I didn't see anything on the minimap. It's probably because they're in the tunnel. Because he's going to need to keep up his macro if he wants to keep up with Solas. A drummer troll is going to make a huge difference. It's amazing how big of a difference one drummer troll can make. Not only is it an effective unit by itself, it has a fear ability, but 33% damage and armor for your whole army is pretty nice, turns out. So I'd always advise getting drummer trolls, if you can. Drummer trolls will be a little bit harder to get next patch, as they will be moved to level 2, which is what they used to be at. So it was deemed a bit too strong to put them in the level 1, and that's fair, I think. Also, it makes sense to me, because you get a mountain troll level 1. If you upgrade to level 2, then you get that. Makes more sense. Then you get a level 3, you get the attack troll. It's just generally, I think, makes more sense that way. And I think it'll help debuff Mordor a little bit, which definitely they might need. Alright, Liam bringing more Goblin Warriors to the fray. If Solas' drummer troll doesn't turn around, he's going to take a lot of damage from these goblins. Once he turns around, Goblin Genocide. Goblin Warriors are very bad against trolls. Just incredibly bad. Solas is bringing reinforcements down to the south here. couple archers and a warrior battalion or so. It looks like he's on the offensive here as well. Some half-armed marauders being brought out of the tunnel, but unable to move, so it's just standing in a giant pile. If only Solas had some sort of AoE hero like Gothmog or Malthasaurus right now, he would kill every guy there just from one swing. And that's a real threat that tunnel users and mineshaft users have to deal with. Because if you get stuck like that, you're going to pay the price if you're not careful. But luckily for him, Solas does not have Gothmog or Malthasaurus or attack troll or anything like that. Liam, on the other hand, has a Azog, which is definitely a good choice. Starting to get a little bit of money. Since he didn't go for Scavenger, he went for Wildman instead. He's opted to go for Azog to try and get his Scavenger on, which is a good call. Also, Azog's a pretty good hero as well, and will help deal with the Drummer Trolls. Although not by himself. I think he's being a bit too ballsy with this Azog. And I think he agrees. He's going to pull him out. In come the Spider Riders. Definitely a nice addition there. And they should do pretty good damage. Meanwhile, Liam is pushing in through the center forward here. He's definitely going to get that slaughterhouse without too much trouble, I would imagine. Solas has some orcs here. Looks like they're level 2, probably regenerating. Although if they're found out with the Spider Riders, won't be much left of those. And Liam has gone for Half-Troll Swordsman, which I think is a good addition to his army. Of course, they are weak to archers, so he's going to have to neutralize these archers quickly if he wants to save these Half-Troll Marauders, or Swordsmen rather. Which he's in the process of doing. And Azog is continuing to level, of course, as the game progresses. Once he gets to level 4, he gets his 100% attack damage, 40% armor buff, which is pretty powerful. So he'll be really good against single units that way. And we have a Mountain Troll out for Solas, which is definitely a useful addition to his army, but he has to be very careful of the pikemen of Liam, though. Also, the cool thing about the Mountain Troll is it has the ability to heal itself just by eating an orc, which, of course, Mordor has by the bloody thousands. So that's not too hard to do, as long as you don't give him a tree. Once you give him a tree, you can no longer use this, because you can't put the tree down. But as long as he has just his fist out, you can eat an orc once he's low health and gives him full health again. It's an easy way to keep your Drummer Trolls alive. Or not Drummer Trolls, your Mountain Trolls, rather. It's pretty cool. So we got a Drummer Troll against a Spider Riders in the corner of the map there for some reason. Interesting. Solas does have himself Industry. He's also thrown out a Battle Tower to defend it. Good call. Keep it safe from Spider Rider attacks. So definitely a strategic position for a tower. Not a bad call at all. Another Drummer Troll on the way out. We got Eachlings now as well. And now Solas is pushing through the center and through the south. Also, Mountain Troll's pretty good against buildings as well, so that'll help him break down the enemy buildings quite nicely. Obviously, these trolls would be much better if you gave them a stick, but like I said, you can heal them if you don't. So, also they seem to be beating Azog down, and Solas nicely microing his trolls out of harm's way. When it gets low, you pull it back, let the other ones start taking the damage. Some StarCraft 2 micro right there. StarCraft, he does play StarCraft 2 as well, so it definitely shows. If only we didn't have delay, then we'd have a... It's the one downside about Rise of the Witch King, or Beef Me in general, is that built-in delay the game has. The other RTSs don't. If that was gone, could you imagine? Ooh. We could have StarCraft level RTS style gameplay with proper micro without lag. I mean, you still have some lag, obviously, but not like 2-second delay where after you click kind of lag. Nobody wants that. Which is what tends to happen when you're off host. Maybe not excessive as 2 seconds, of course, but you get the drift. Azog is now level 5. He's continuing to ravage. Liam's doing a good job keeping him alive, to be honest. And I did see a Mouth of Sauron out for Solas somewhere. So that's definitely a good addition to his army as well. There he is. And he is almost level 2. There's a worm summon somewhere. There it is. Summoned by Solas to try and shut down the production center of Liam there. He really needs to get rid of the spider pit in this fissure, I think. Goblin Warrior is not so much of a problem. He also got rid of this level 3 tunnel, which is nice. As long as you knock it down and it's level 3, it'll rebuild, yes. But it will rebuild at level 1, so it's not as big of a deal. That's the problem with goblin buildings. I mean, it's still a nice feature, of course. Since they're the only one that have it, it's quite unique and quite useful. But his level 3 tunnel is now gone, even if it does rebuild. But Solas is microing the worm, trying to get the most bang for his buck here. Although it's killing some warriors, looks like he doesn't want that to happen. He's trying to focus down this goblin cave. Definitely wants to do that. There you go. And perfect timing. He has completely reduced Liam's production line to nothing. So now is the time for Solas to strike, definitely. He's assumed his army's fourth. Looks like he's utilizing Haradrim archers as well. So if he can get into the base of Liam quickly, he has potential to do a lot of damage there. We have an Azog. That's a Gorkill, of course. Gorkill, the Goblin King, on the field for Liam. Who's a great hero in general. Gives leadership to goblins. Nice poison sting ability. And his totem's actually really useful as well if you use that. Sauron's level 4 now. Wow, he leveled up quick. I don't know if Liam's going to have enough to defend here. He's also utilizing the Burrows expansions, which I like. They, if you build them, they give you increased command point limits. I don't know how much exactly. I always forget how much. But you can actually spam them around your fort, and it'll give you command point limit increase, which is kind of nice. Of course, that does take the place of your fortress defenses, though. So you got to keep that in mind. You won't have the arrow towers or the spiderling holes expansions to defend your fort with, so you got to be careful if you do that. Looks like Solas didn't quite send enough troops. Majority of his force will be beaten back here. Very nice. Liam utilizing the totem there. The totem actually gives 50% damage, 50% armor. It's basically a Tainted Land, so it's a mini Tainted Land. If you place it down when you're fighting, it's very, very effective. Meanwhile, Solas is attacking in the bottom left here. Very slowly but surely, breaking down these tunnels. But he does have quite the force over here, and he's starting to clear out Liam from this zone. And he's completely taken over the top right. And I mean completely. He is utilizing the crap out of it. Lumber mills for days. And he's got a lot of farms there as well. So he's really made that his production block, it looks like. Pretty nice. Gorkill needs to be a bit careful here. Fortunately, he's fairly decently quick on his scorpion. He can get out of there. Liam summoning the worm, and down goes the troll cage. I'll definitely slow him down a bit. We have a fell beast out on the field for Solas, though. Morgamir has arrived. Solas continuing to push into Liam's base here. I don't think he'll be able to beat the army of Liam with this small of an army. Maybe, though, because there's a lot of archers here with the drummer troll support. He'll at least take a lot of lives with him, but he won't be able to do any damage to the buildings, so he'll need a melee force for that. As the archers without fire arrows not going to do a whole lot of damage, it turns out. Solas is really trying to bring down Gorkill. He's probably going to succeed as well. Gorkill has nowhere to hide. He's not going to make it to a tunnel in time. One more hit should do it. Down he goes. Rolling up Morgamir to level 2, although he needs to be a bit careful, as Morgamir will take damage from the fortress arrow towers. So he's wanting to pick off the builder as well, while Liam is busy microwing, and he succeeded, also hitting some goblin archers as well at the same time. Very nice. Looks like this pack of archers still here. They are putting in work. go. We got a counter darkness, it looks like. Solas using darkness after Liam, so Liam's darkness is cancelled, and Solas's now takes effect. That's how the weather system works. Weather powers, whatever you want to call them. And that also, of course, gives a leadership buff to the forces of Solas now. To his whole army across the map. Darkness is quite powerful. It's just easily counterable is the problem. But only if they have the ability to counter, of course. Which Solas, fortunately for him, did. I'd say both players are playing very well, though. It's gotta be said. I didn't expect Liam to be so good, to be honest. So it's nice to see he's improving quite well. And there goes the Haradrim Palace. That's definitely going to fall to the Wildman Summon. Solas managed to get some Haradrim Archers out of there, though, before it goes down. Down that goes, unfortunately, because that is level 3. That means he's going to have to rebuild it from the ground up, and that'll set him back a bit, as it is not cheap, of course. Not super cheap, at least. Liam probably doesn't want to engage here too much while the enemy has darkness. If he can avoid conflict? Sure. But if you can avoid conflict for as long as possible, it's probably the wise decision. Morgamir's addition to this army definitely going to be huge. Oh, very clutch fear. The Screech ability, saving the life of Morgamir. Very close indeed. Death! It's a weird thing to scream. Liam's out running off 3 fissures. Very interesting. 3 fissures. He's got more fissures than he's got goblin caves at the moment, which is unusual to say the least for a goblin. But seems to be working so far. At least until he gets overwhelmed by the amount of troops. Because of course you're not going to be able to put out as many of those high-cost fissure troops as you are goblin warriors. Solas currently has got quite the force on the field. It's not super strong force, but it is a force. Woo. They used their poison arrows, and they retaliated with the barbed arrows. Much stronger ability, of course. From a stronger unit. Barbed arrows are very strong. And you can also autocast these kind of abilities in 2.2 version 6 by right-clicking on it, which is pretty handy. I do it a lot, because I can't be bothered to micro it myself, so it's nice. Alright, here we go. The armies are squaring off. Liam nicely placing his half-dwarf marauders in front in porcupine formation, so they will stop any enemy units from getting to them and also tank all the damage in the front. Although he did clump up his goblin archers very thickly there, and they took a lot of damage. Thickly, is that a word? Maybe. Sounds like saying bigly. Looks like the Nazgul has been dismounted though, which is a good call. Now he can fight amongst the troops on the ground, debuffing the enemy. Of course, once he gets on the ground, he has Dread Visage. I don't know if Nazgul actually have Dread Visage while they're flying. I don't think they do. I think you actually have to land them, unless they're the Witch King, of course, to actually benefit from that. I could be wrong. I mean, I want to say I'm pretty sure, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not even sure. If I could go back in like 1 minute ago, I can tell you, but I can't remember because my brain is horrible. Memorizing things is hard. There's another Felbeast on the field. Of course, it's Kamul, the other one. So now 2 flyers against the goblins. Going to be pretty strong. That was the arrow volley. And lots of goblins die. Also, the worm has recharged for Solas, so now he's going to start taking down the production buildings of Liam with said worm. Currently, Solas doesn't have much around his base besides the farms and orc pits. I'd imagine he still has Haradrim Palace somewhere. He decided not to. Oh, he's actually pumping out siege weapons from the north. Interesting. Well, if he keeps him busy there, he will actually be able to do some damage. That's also a level 3 siege works, as those are Black Riders. And that can be pretty huge. Black Riders are very strong. So if he utilizes those properly. Black Riders, 2 flyers, and a lot of orcs and catapults. That's a nasty combo. And something that Liam will definitely struggle to counter, I think. Especially when he has no production buildings. Worm has been MVP here. Slowing the enemy down quite severely. It's crazy for such an old game. Even the reflections in the water are still nice. It's crazy. The reflections in the water in this game from 2006 are nicer than games nowadays. That's sad. Sad, but also shows how timeless this game's graphics are. They're still good after all these years. It's pretty nice. Alright, Solas is going for the kill here, it looks like. Trying to bring down the fortress with the Fell Beasts. And the Black Riders as well. The Black Riders are actually tanking all the damage from the arrow towers. So the Fell Beasts have all the time in the world to swoop down and kill him. And there you go, Liam 666 has been defeated. And Solas is victorious. Nice. That was a good game, actually. I'd say Liam played that probably better than most players to play Solas I've seen. So that was pretty nice. And surprising. So well played, Liam. And of course, well played, Solas. The victory is yours. Not too shocking, to be honest, but still. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that cast, and I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2. See you all next time.